The IDF's Life for a Child programme is of vital importance to children all over the world. We spoke to Dr Graham Ogle about some of their work.
In the developed world, children with diabetes have access to a full range of care. So they have insulin and meters and strips and diabetes education, and that's provided generally by the governments. But in the developing world, often insulin isn't available, or if it is available, then test strips aren't available, and particularly diabetes education is not available. We think many die before diagnosis. They're diagnosed as another condition. Others survive that early episode, but then they can't properly control their blood glucose levels, so they're prone to either very high blood glucose levels or very low blood glucose levels, both of which are dangerous. So it's a substantial problem, and we estimate that around maybe 80 or 100,000 children around the world, children and young people around the world, are in need of help. The International Diabetes Federation Life for a Child program commenced in the year 2000 in response to this need. And we started in 3 pilot countries in the Western Pacific, and now we're helping in 43 nations around the world, in Africa and Asia, in the Caribbean, in South America and the Western Pacific. And essentially the program works through supporting existing diabetes centres. So we don't try and establish centres de novo, we don't try and tell centres what to do. We find out what their needs are and then work with them to supply those needs where we can and help them achieve the next tier or the tier above that of diabetes care. There's been a number of places where the program has had a substantial impact. In the country of Mali in West Africa, in 2007 when the program started, the mortality rate for diabetes was very high, and generally these children were not lasting any more than 2 years. But in partnership with Santa Diabete, an association there, and the Malian government, we commenced the program. We started with 14 children and youth, and now there's over 200, and the numbers are increasing each month. It is an IDF program, but Australian Diabetes Council is very involved, other national diabetes associations around the world, and support from pharmaceutical companies and ISPAD and other professional organisations. And this is necessary, and essentially because it's such a large problem and such a distributed problem, but it is changing. The summary of the program is that it's people with diabetes and people affected by diabetes helping people with diabetes.